I still remember the sound of her message arriving. That short, indifferent ping that shattered everything I thought I understood about marriage. Claire had been distant for months, her affection replaced by polite silence, and her warmth buried under layers of cold civility. But that night, her text wasn't silence. It was fire. "I'm not your property," for words that felt rehearsed, maybe even borrowed from someone else. I stared at them, the glow of my phone screen reflecting off the kitchen counter like a quiet accusation. We had argued before. About work hours, about trust, about how she said she felt suffocated. But this one felt different. It wasn't a cry for space. It was a declaration of separation. I typed back without thinking. "And not my wife." 5 words that carried more truth than anger, more finality than I was ready to face. Then I placed my phone down beside the half-empty glass of whiskey and waited for the quiet to settle. 5 minutes later, it didn't. The screen lit up with her name once, twice, then a flood. 15 missed calls in a row. No texts, no explanations. Just that relentless ring as if panic had suddenly found her. Claire never called like that. She was the kind who walked away mid-sentence, who slammed doors instead of dialing numbers. I didn't pick up. Not the first time. Not the third. By the 10th, my pulse had shifted from anger to unease. Was she crying? Drunk? Or worse, with someone who'd finally realized the game had gone too far? The night before, I'd seen the signs. A second phone on silent. A sudden girl's trip that didn't exist. A faint cologne that didn't belong to me lingering on her coat. I hadn't confronted her then. I wanted her to confess. Not because I needed revenge, but because I still wanted to believe she was capable of honesty. Now, as her 15th call went unanswered, my heart raced between suspicion and guilt. What if something had happened? What if the person she'd chosen over me had done something stupid? I picked up my keys. The drive to her sister's apartment, where she said she'd be staying for a few days, felt endless. The rain had started, smearing the streetlights into streaks of gold and red. Every ring of my phone made me press harder on the gas. When I finally pulled up, her car wasn't there. The curtains were drawn, but a dim light glowed from inside. I rang the bell once, twice. No answer. My call log was full of her name, my text thread still frozen on that last exchange. "I'm not your property. And not my wife." I almost laughed. It sounded like the final lines of a script neither of us had the courage to finish. Just as I turned to leave, the door opened. Her sister, Emily, stood there, hair messy, eyes wide, wearing one of Claire's sweatshirts. "She's not here," she said quietly. But she was. Something in her tone made me step forward. "Was? What do you mean was?" Emily hesitated, biting her lip. "She came about an hour ago. She was shaking. Said she'd made a mistake. Then she left again. Someone picked her up." "Who?" She shook her head. "Didn't see. But she looked scared. Scared." The word looped in my head like static. I left without another word, driving aimlessly through the soaked streets, hoping for her car, a sign, a reason. My anger had melted into something else, dread. Back home, I sat in the driveway, watching the rain crawl down the windshield, my phone still in my hand. 15 missed calls, all from her. The last one, timestamped 11:42 p.m. At 11:43, there was a voicemail. I hadn't noticed it before. I pressed play. Her voice trembled through the speaker, shaky and muffled by the sound of wind. "Ethan, please pick up. I need to talk to you. I messed up. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. Please, just call me." Then silence. No sobs. No explanation. Just the raw edge of fear bleeding through her voice. I replayed it 3 times, each repetition carving deeper into my chest. The anger I'd been feeding for weeks suddenly felt pointless, like a weapon turned against myself. Something had happened, and for the first time I wasn't sure I wanted to know what. I called her back, straight to voicemail. By morning, I hadn't slept. Her car was still missing. Her sister hadn't heard from her. Even her best friend, Megan, the one who used to defend her no matter what, sounded uneasy when I called. "Claire didn't come home last night?" she asked. No. There was a pause. Ethan, I think you should check the old cafe near Harbor Street. She used to go there with someone. The words hit like cold water. With someone. It wasn't news, not really. I'd suspected for weeks. The changed passwords. The sudden laughter that stopped when I entered the room. The secretive smiles she wore like armor. Still, hearing it spoken aloud twisted something inside me. I drove to Harbor Street before sunrise. The cafe sign flickered in the drizzle, neon blue and half dead. Only 2 cars sat in the parking lot, one of them unmistakably hers. I parked beside it, wiped the fog from my windshield, and stepped out. Inside, the air smelled of stale coffee and rain-soaked wool. A waitress glanced up, bored and half asleep. "Looking for someone?" she asked. "Yeah, Claire Foster. Blonde hair, blue jacket. She's my wife." Her expression shifted. "Oh, she was here last night. With a man. Left around midnight. Did you see where they went?" The woman hesitated. "They argued." He grabbed her wrist. She told him to let go. Then she ran out. He followed. Cold pulse shot through me. "What did he look like?" She shrugged. "Tall. Dark jacket. Looked angry." I walked outside and spotted something half hidden by the curb. A thin silver bracelet. Hers. The same one I bought for her birthday 2 years ago. Engraved with our initials. ENC. For a moment, everything inside me went still. I knelt, picked it up, and stared at the faint smear of dirt on its edge. It wasn't evidence of a crime, not yet. But it was proof of something real, something broken. That night, she finally called. Her voice was hoarse, whispering through static. "Ethan, I didn't know where else to go. Can you come get me?" I didn't ask where she was. I just drove. She was standing near an abandoned gas station off Route 17. Her hair soaked, makeup streaked down her cheeks. When she saw me, she didn't speak. She just walked forward, trembling, and collapsed into my arms. For a long time, neither of us said anything. The rain drummed against the roof of the car as we sat there, 2 people caught between pride and pain. Finally, she spoke. It was him, the man I thought I loved. He told me I was free, not yours, not anyone's. But when I said I was leaving, he changed. He said if I walked away, he'd make sure you never wanted me again. Her voice cracked. He tried to drag me into his car. I ran. I looked at her, unsure what to feel. Pity, anger, or exhaustion. Maybe all 3. "You told me you weren't my property," I said quietly. She nodded, tears streaking down. "I know, and I meant it. But I also forgot what being yours really meant. It wasn't ownership. It was safety." We drove home in silence, her head resting lightly against the window. 15 missed calls. 1 voicemail. And a truth I couldn't unhear. That love, once broken by pride, rarely returns the same. The next morning, I left before she woke up. I didn't take my things. Just the bracelet, her bracelet, and the phone that still carried her last words. Sometimes, walking away isn't about revenge or forgiveness. It's about peace. And for the first time in months, I felt it.